You're not giving me an ETA for a fix? I'll flood your ticketing system. At first, I thought that this story would have been more suited for our petty revenge. However, after reading our ProRevenge's Rule 1, in order for your story to be pro-revenge, it should involve you going out of your way and going above and beyond to get revenge. I decided that it's better suited here, as I feel that I clearly went above and beyond. Hopefully, you will find this story as amusing as my friends and I find it 10 years later. This happened around 2012. Back then I used to live in southern Europe, one of the Mediterranean countries. I was a university student in a remote, rural place. I had just moved to a new apartment and, naturally, my first order of business was to make sure that I have a running internet connection. The problem was that, due to the place I was living in being so remote, there was only one ISP provider available. You didn't like the provider? Too bad. Anyway, I signed the necessary paperwork in time, moved to the new place, set up the router and all, and thankfully my connection is fine. That is until day 3 or 4, when out of nowhere my internet connection dies, but my phone line was working normally. Okay, no probs. I call the ISP to open a ticket. The representative tells me that they will get back to me soon. A few days pass by and I get nothing, so I decide to call them again. The representative tells me that they are still investigating the problem and that they will get back to me soon. Now, this is the point where I'm starting to get frustrated. I know that the internet in the area is fine. In fact, my next door neighbor's internet connection is great, so the problem must be something that is easily fixable. Right? Wrong. A week has passed by and I call them again. This time the representative tells me that they have investigated the issue and the problem is officially of unknown origin, which means that they cannot give me an ETA for the fix. I hang up the phone feeling sad and perplexed. As I contemplate my internetless existence, the representative's words echo in my mind. Unknown origin. We cannot give you an ETA. Slowly, my sadness transforms into denial. How is this possible? My phone connection still works, so the line is still there, and I know for a fact that everyone in the area has a stable internet connection. This must be a simple bug that is easily fixable. This can only mean one thing. Some mofo has not been doing his job correctly. The denial becomes anger. How dare they tell me that they cannot give me an ETA? This should be illegal. What if my job depends on my internet connection? Not to mention that internet access is a basic human right. They are denying me my rights by not giving me an ETA. At this point the issue stops being the internet connection, it's about the principle of the matter. As a human being and a customer, I am entitled to an ETA. I call the ISP again and I try to explain my flawless reasoning. No luck. The poor representative who listens to my rant tells me that the only thing I can do is to open a new ticket. Shocked by my inability to define my fate, I accept his offer and hang up. And then, a magnificent idea is born. Since the only thing that I can do is to open a new ticket, then this is exactly what I'm going to do. From that point on I was calling my ISP provider 2 to 5 times per day. Each time, I was telling the representative the same thing. This is what has happened. I know that there are multiple tickets with my name on them already, but I want you to open a new one. Most of the representatives were pretty amused by my story. Everyone complied. A month later, yes, a month passed without the issue having been fixed. I get a call from the regional tech executive of the ISP. The call goes like this. Executive, long angry rant. You must stop opening tickets. You're flooding our ticketing system. More long angry rant. At first, I was shocked at how aggressive the executive was. He was clearly one step away from starting to calling me names, and I knew that the only reason this didn't happen was that these calls are being recorded. And then my shock transformed into a visible glorious erection. You see, my friends, this is the point when I realized that I was winning. Me, well, are you going to give me an ETA for a fix? Executive, we cannot give you an ETA. The problem is of an unknown origin. Me, then I guess I'll keep opening tickets. Executive, hangs up. To cut a long story short, this exchange renewed my passion for crushing the souls of those who have wronged me, so I kept opening tickets at the same pace for another 30 to 40 days. I estimate that in the course of the total 70 days that this lasted, I must have opened more than 250 tickets. One day my phone rings. I pick it up and it's an ISP representative who tells me this. Mr. You/LexMeat, is this you? Your problem has been solved. Everyone at ISP name is talking about you. Indeed, on that day my internet connection was back. The cool part about this, however, was that I had internet all along. Remember my next door neighbor? She was kind enough to let me know her Wi-Fi password since day one. At least you had an awesome neighbor through those tough times. Yep, and a longtime friend. I'm sure it's too much to hope for, but hopefully they refunded you for over 2 months without internet. I envy your optimism. Obvious executive and senior staff team incentive/performance metrics or goals. Open ticket resolved or average days open or some crazy measure got a C-level executive once over and potential loss of bonus. Yep, I realized this years later. At first, I thought that he meant that I was literally flooding the ticketing system, but then I realized that I was just messing with their metrics. That's pro. I really hope they credited your account for the times you weren't getting service. Nope, we don't do that in insert Mediterranean country. At least that was the case in 2012. That's outrageous, not as outrageous as not having internet for 2 months to begin with, but still outrageous. So you were paying for a service you weren't getting? That would be illegal down here, Australia. It's not illegal in Australia and not illegal in the UK either. The ISPs do not have a service obligation. Read your terms very carefully. You'll see a lot of words like best effort and reasonably competent. If they like, they could offer a credit or a goodwill payment, but don't have to. At that point you have a civil claim against them, which they can outspend the feck out of you with an army of lawyers. I learned all this when dealing with TalkTalk UK. I had service down for 12 days, but because it was intermittent it came back up for very short periods. Usually overnight. They essentially didn't care. They gave me a 10 goodwill payment if I'd agree to e-sign an NDA, and I told them to stuff it, and stuff their service. Haven't done any business at all with them since and dissuaded a fair few others. That's ridiculous. I've been cut off from internet for days before and I was able to get my money back for each day without much effort, literally one quick phone call. If you're paying for a service you should get that service. Someone who pays for 2 months and only gets 4 days service should get their damn money back. Well, that's what their elaborate contract is for. By choosing their words carefully they make it so that you aren't paying for internet. You're paying for their best effort to provide you with internet. Whether you actually receive internet or not is irrelevant. So long as they can prove that they are putting forth a reasonable effort, then they have fulfilled their end of the contract. That's a lot of patience in your part. My internet wasn't working properly for like 2 days and they can't tell me what's wrong and no idea when someone will visit me. Turns out the fiber cable was broken due to a previous accident in the area. So I asked everyone in a group where I'm pretty popular to flood their social media accounts with words why is you/just10 if 69's internet not working. I got a call later that day telling me my ticket was expedited and someone will surely visit tomorrow, and told me to stop sending my trolls to them Lamau. Got you to fix the issue, didn't it? It still took 2 months for them to fix it. SMH. It took me 3 months to get an internet fix once. Cable providers are awful. Monopolies are awful. FTFY. So what was the problem? Did you try turning it off and on again? So did you find out why your internet was down? Asking the real questions. I can't believe a single person would flood their ticket system, but then again those are a lot. Good job. Also, what an angel of a next door neighbor. Yeah, but that's 250 open, unresolved tickets making executive look bad. Ooh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Your description of the country you're in and description of the ISP screams Italy, and goddamn do I feel you. Had 1 MB/s internet speeds for 3 years. Yes, that is correct. Despite there being fiber and stuff being pulled to the local town. Eventually changed ISP that offers internet over radio. And it's been fairly great. I live in a large German city and pay 30 a month for a download rate of 970 kilobits per second on average. I think that's normal here. Ouch. And here I was under the impression that most European networks were of better quality. Maybe that's just cellular. Canada, city under 100k population. CAD 90/mo €65 roughly. 1 gigabyte per second up/down, of which actual rates are somewhere between 900 to 1000 megabytes per second. Ironically, it oftentimes seems to be worse in larger cities. Toronto was horrible due to old/outdated wiring with nodes that were in hard to access locations for technicians and fecking when seeking squirrels that love to chew on an outdoor exposed wiring. Also Canada, city of 130k, pay close to 200/month for 20 down. WTF? Which provider? Local company. Best option because I live in a less dense area of the city. The only option I have is them or Bell DSL at 5 down. I can look down the street and see where the decent service ends at the end of my block. Ouch. Wonder if Starlink might be a better option. I know somebody who has it and was getting about 80/20. There's a wait list but might be worth signing up to get off a Speedy ISP. Yeah, I haven't looked into that too much yet. Last I heard they were waiting on the CRTC, which I think has since been resolved. I may have to check it out again. Cue Monty Python voice. We used to dream of having 20 megabits per second down. Out in the boonies, in a bit of a valley, no line of sight to any cell towers, so LTE is out of the question. No landline phones, so no DSL. The one and only option is ExploreNet satellite. The landlord pays for it, over $100 per month, with a 100 gig cap, and on a good day, you might hit 7 megabits per second. Usually it's between 1.5 and 3. Forget streaming anything. More buffering than an automotive detailer. Bust the monthly cap? You're choked like a drunken thought with Daddy Zero. 25 megabits per second. Yeah, I had them first and they are so bad. Did you first check that it wasn't your router that was at fault? Even if it was, that is probably a common problem, which means they would probably tell you to check it. So you guys eager for the Starlink satellite service? Should be online most places this and next year. It will definitely bring competition to those areas that had monopolies. Great revenge, man. I hope they sent follow-up messages asking you to rate their service for each ticket. Appalling. 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 GD appalling. Continue trend for 70 tickets. Throw in an excellent in the middle, then back to appalling. If you demand an ETA when they don't have one, that's a great way to have someone just make up a random ETA to just get you off the phone, FYI lol. Yep. They obviously don't know. If they don't know the problem, they can't know how long it will take to fix. Yeah, one of the other reps where I work straight up told a customer that the person they talked to before had made up an ETA to get them off the phone. Why would you say it like that? And the customer was very displeased. But they did accept my response of the fastest I've seen this resolved is 7 business days, but I can't give you a more specific ETA because I don't want to lie to you lol. I used to do the same thing when I had people who wouldn't drop it, which I probably doesn't realize is pretty often. Give a ballpark of times I've seen them reiterate that it could be something really fringe and I could be way off. I think it's the best way to cover your butt and be honest and as helpful as you can to the customer. Frankly, I feel really badly for the tier 1 reps I've talked to, and I guarantee most of them were not amused but just being pleasant because it's literally their job. Did you ask them to refund you the 2 months of no internet? Because I would have given them even more hell if they charged me 2 months for a service they have not provided. At some point, did you tell the provider, I'm paying for a service that I'm not getting, and stop billing me now? My bet is that the ISP in that country had a monopoly.